Hey everyone, I'm Isaac and welcome back to Isaac Reviews 2024. It doesn't seem like too many major releases happened last weekend, but I suppose I might as well talk about something to keep you all occupied as I finish my best movies of 2023 list. With that being said, let's talk about the American Society of Magical Negroes. And I probably should not be saying that title in full, given the fact that I'm, like, the whitest person to ever be white, but it does tie into the movie overall being a satire on the trope of the same name. For context, the magical Negro is a black stock character who aids the white main character in their development while possessing special insight or even mystical powers. It's a trope that's existed for quite a while now, so I guess directorial newbie Cody Libby and the folks at Focus Features saw enough potential in it to make a movie about it. Leading up to its release, I wasn't really excited for this one. And no, it wasn't because, the trailer said white people bad, or anything of the sort. I just wasn't really sold on the concept and the commentary it wanted to present. After watching it, I'm not entirely sure it's worthy of a 2.9 out of 10 on IMDb, but I do have to agree that it's a really bad movie. It's the story of an average guy named Aaron who gets recruited into a secret society of magical black people who dedicate their lives to making white people's lives easier. Although he's initially enamored with his new powers, he begins to question the value of using supernatural means to do the very thing he's felt obligated to do his whole life. I get what it was trying to do in its social commentary by poking fun at stuff like racial stereotypes and white fragility, but the American Society of Magical Negroes doesn't feel like an adequate critique of those subjects. It tries to point out the title organization's regressive and outdated practices of only helping white people and making them feel comfortable, but after a while it starts feeling like it's taking itself more seriously than it should. This all ties into my main problem with this movie. It doesn't feel like it knows what it wants to do with itself. It tries presenting all these ideas that could work in a better screenplay, but in execution, it's a jumbled mess with inconsistent pacing and a social commentary that's more or less a 2-hour way of saying Black Lives Matter in case you forgot. And one of the key plot points that bogs the story down is the romance subplot. There's next to no chemistry between the actors, and the scenes of them together grind the pacing to a screeching halt. Again, I don't have a problem with simply giving this movie a romance, but the execution is so painfully boring that it tremendously bogs down the quality of the film. And I will admit, the movie did have some qualities that I liked about it. For one, David Alan Grier was probably the only actor here who gave a good performance. I really enjoyed the charisma he brought to his role, and he easily had the best scenes in the movie. I also thought there was some really good production design, a decent score, and a small handful of okay jokes. As it stands, however, the American Society of Magical Negroes may not be as bad as some might say it is, but that doesn't change how it's still a bad movie. It wants to shine a light on topics that are worth discussing, but it massively fumbles the execution, and the end result is a boring and tonally inconsistent mess. Regardless of your race or political orientation, I'd simply recommend skipping this one. There's plenty of movies and shows that do this sort of commentary much better than this one, and just better movies you could be watching in general. So yeah, 3 out of 10, don't watch it. Next time, I'll be talking about Arthur the King. Admittedly, it's really schmaltzy and cheesy, but I'm sorry, I really enjoyed this one. If you want to see me talk about it and other films of the sort, then consider subscribing to the Isaac Carthy channel. Thanks for watching!